Hey guys, Infected1 here, bringing you another cast of one of my games. It's a gold level game, and though I don't think I played to the best of my ability, and I'll explain some of that in the video, I think it's a really good demonstrational video for those of you that are zerg and are looking to be a Terran opponent, and also shows you really how to react to the Terran style. I'm looking over this video just to see if there's anything that I could have done better myself personally. I've not actually watched this replay yet, but I think, you know, it was a solid game, and I think if I could play like this all the time, then I'd do okay. So I'm opening with my usual 11 pool build. I'm scouting with the Overlord and my 11th drone, just trying to see him and check out if he's going to go for any 2 racks or anything like that. He's briefly ahead of me in SCVs, but I'm going to skyrocket up and overtake him pretty soon. Here I scout the 1 barracks with the 1 gas, so I'm not really assuming any 2 racks play. And I see him dropping the factory, so in situations like this I'd normally assume to find a Hellion harass, maybe 3 Hellion harass, so we're going to go react to factory, something like that. And I've been telling, I suppose you could call one of my students, that the way to deal with this is to get out a 2nd queen, and I think a 2nd queen is pretty much standard as a zerg early on, and you place both queens here, and even if you have the hatchery here, his Hellions aren't going to be able to do a lot of damage against the building since the Hellions are light, so the queens will be able to tank, and in that time you'll be able to easily get out some more zerglings. So I am ahead of him in drones right now, and I only produce 1 set of lings to come on a little scouting mission. And I see that he's actually got a tech lab here, so obviously he's going factory. And I leave these lings here just to scout. I perhaps should have just taken 1 away and only left 1, and maybe even placed it here to have a better line of sight. But you know, that's no problem. And notice how in the unit production tab I see him moving up this force. So I immediately pumped out a set of zerglings just to prepare for it, and maybe he was coming to attack me straight away. And I also dropped the baling nest earlier, just because I think this is a standard thing against Terran. I've joined the bases with creep as well, just to, you know, help with the speed of my units. And I'm sending another link to scout because I've noticed that this push isn't here. And there I noticed the tanks are coming, but I'd already just started to produce drones. How many zerg players do this and immediately panic because they have no lava to spend? And I'm just going to show you how, since we had the warning, we saw this, had this zergling here, we saw the push out, so we produced units. He didn't come. Okay, he's massed more units. Let's go see what he's expanded. Let's go see what he's doing. We've sent more, and we've seen that he's coming. This force here can just be a delaying force, because since we're zerg, we can pump out a really large number of units relatively quickly to do a cleanup. And this is a good example of how you can miss micro, and not do as well as what you should do in a battle, but still come out ahead. I separate these units in the hope that he's going to come here and just pin some movement to him, but all this actually does is just separate them so that they can die separately. It's kind of a real waste. But you gotta not panic and see he moves up and my zerglings pop, and I clear it up, and he literally does no damage to my economy whatsoever. And now we can come out, we can clear some of these tanks. He's pretty lucky he gets to pick up on this medevac, but I didn't actually think he was going to starport, so that gave me a lot of information anyway just by seeing that. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, that went well for me. I've got this Overlord here in the hope that I can morph him to an Overseer and Scout. I'm also dropping the infestation pit and just poking and prodding. And I see the command center, so I know he's not going to be pushing out pretty soon. He's going to be building up some forces to try to secure this expo. So I immediately go for the Overlord speed and Overlord drop, and I start sending my Overlords out, and I'm moving them towards this position, and I'm just rallying lings all the way down here. This is because I know from his early attack and from me just, you know, macroing well and holding off his aggression that I'm ahead on SCVs, on drones, sorry. And as you can see, I'm 11 ahead, and I'm in a really good spot here. In that actual engagement, even though he cleaned out my entire army at one point, he lost so much more than me. So I'm in a really comfortable position here, and I'm just going to load these zerglings up, send them in, and come back. But I don't know if I didn't show you this, but the trigger for this movement is that I saw, it wasn't just the fact that this upgrade finished, that was just good timing, but I saw these tanks move out, so I knew that it'd take him some time to get back. But even if these tanks hadn't moved out, I suppose it would have been okay, because it's putting more pressure onto him, but I like waiting for the deployment so I can counter-attack effectively. And I'm just taking down his tech structures here, I'm taking out his upgrades, taking out his racks. I perhaps should have just gone straight for the SCV targeting, but since I know I'm so far ahead in the economy, I just want to, you know, target down his ability to make units, and I do a fair chunk of damage here, and with this attack I'm expanding behind it, so I'm taking a third. I think I need to work on my creep spread. I was a demon for creep spread in Bronze League. I would have creep spread all the way across the map, but then I'd have 5k minerals, so I think that's something that I need to get better at, but while keeping my macro going. And here I'm just sending another drop. I accidentally send more, but I re-get them back. And as you can see, he's sending a drop of his own, but he's sending it towards his hatchery. And this is another advantage of having multiple bases. I've got this overlord here scouting for any drop coming to my main, but since he's only on the 2 base and all of his tech structure is in this single base up here, my attack is going to be a lot more effective, and also I've got a lot of units ready to deal with this. Since we can batter him so hard, this is pretty much his entire army, so as soon as I see this drop, I can just send lings and I can deal with this pretty effectively. I do lose his hatchery to like a single marine or something ridiculous, but you know, that's 300 minerals in exchange for this army, and in the meantime that's allowed me to secure this, take out some of these, and I kill a lot here, but perhaps what's more important is that I'm taking these SCVs away from mining, and he's still effectively on 1 base. He's taken an expansion, but he has nothing here. In the meantime, I've got drones mining pretty effectively here, I'm pretty well saturated here, and just, it's pretty much a done game. I've doubled his supply count, and he's having to waste because of me damaging the supply depots. Rather than muling up, he's having to drop supply, whatever those are called. And here with these infestors, I'm just dropping and trying to take out his ability to make SCVs, so I'm taking out that expansion. Just really hammering his ability to macro up, and see he's queuing like mad here, but since we're constantly just attacking him, he doesn't really have time to, you know, consolidate his position. And this is quite important. I see his units here, so I figure that if I can just surround and take out this force, I'm in a good shape. So with the infestors, I wait until my link's pretty close, and then I send these to pretty much tank the damage, but I don't know why, but he just randomly decided to move at this point, and I didn't really get much of a shot off here. And this seems pretty bad. You know, I lose a lot of units here just to kill a supply depot, but that does supply block him, and I'm not really trading down units here at an effective cost ratio. I'm just trying to hit him, and I know that eventually I'll roll him. And this is the reason why I'm in the Gold League. At this point, at 20 minutes into the game, I go, oh, I have a Baneling nest, and I have a lot of Zerglings. I could just make Banelings and destroy this guy. And even I send with this attack, I use the infestors and the terrorists to tank damage, but I could have pretty much just moved into this barracks and then taken out his entire army anyway. I mean, he's got pretty much no units, and I've got 42 Banelings. There's nothing he can do about that. And yeah, I hope this game was instructive in how to deal with a pretty hard basing, hard one basing turn opponent. The drop upgrades are a really good upgrade for Zerg, but not that many people use it. And yeah, I hope you like this video and keep watching. Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.